Hi there. I got a message this week from a viewer who was writing to tell me about how she just didn't like herself very much. And she was finding herself having these self destructive tendencies, these habits that were developing that she didn't really want to do, but she kept finding herself in this pattern of self destruction because she just didn't feel like she could face life. And of course, this was putting a strain on her family. She's a bit younger. And because when you have someone in your family who is being a bit self-destructive and can't face their own problems, it causes others to have to step in for them. And so she said, could you address this? What am I supposed to do? Because obviously you don't want to be there. You don't want to be that way. So why do you keep doing the thing you don't want to do? It's something that I've dealt with a lot. It's actually something that I think a lot of people deal with. Going back even to the Apostle Paul in the New Testament. Why do I keep doing the thing I don't want to do? Huh? And why can't I do the thing that I want to do? It's an age-old question. These two things are really linked, of not liking yourself and then having self-destructive tendencies. They go hand in hand. You're really not going to find people who are self-destructive who really like themselves. And it's difficult also to find people who don't like themselves who always are doing the right thing in life and are not self-destructive. They're comorbid, if you will. Self-destruction basically is a coping mechanism, albeit an unhealthy one. It basically stems from the belief that you can't trust yourself to face your own problems and to face life, to deal with life in a healthy way. And so instead, you indulge in self-destructive behaviors, and that's your way of kind of skirting around the problems. And I think this not liking yourself goes hand in hand with not trusting yourself, because how can you not like yourself and then say, oh yeah, I trust myself? That goes hand in hand as well. This comes from, for whatever reason in your life, from childhood, you were taught that you're not good and that you shouldn't trust yourself. Who knows who it was? Parents, teachers, society in general, the message you were getting through the TV, I don't know where it came from. And maybe it was intentional, maybe it was purely unintentional. But somehow you got the message, loud and clear, that you should be ashamed of yourself for whatever reason. You're no good, you're not good enough. Who you are as a person is not acceptable. And furthermore, because of that, we don't like you, you shouldn't like yourself, and you shouldn't trust yourself either. So a good way of coping with that is to hate yourself. It's a defense mechanism. Because if you're hating yourself, if you're beating yourself up, then it kind of deflates the people around you, doesn't it? If they're coming after you and they hate you and they want to beat you down, if they come around and they see that, oh, he already hates himself, he's already beating himself up, our job is done here. We don't need to do anything. So you learn this as a defense mechanism, like, whew, saved myself there by hating myself. And unfortunately, while this may have been a great thing to have learned to deal with childhood, now you're an adult, it's not really going to serve you very well anymore. Because now that you're an adult, it leaves you feeling like you can't trust yourself. And guess what? You have to trust yourself now. It also makes you feel like you are not worthy of good things. And you're not worthy of getting what you want in life. You're not worthy of having your needs and desires fulfilled. And it's really rough to go through life that way. Like, to think that you're not good enough for happiness you can't live that way. There are so many people, me included. Look, I'm not some guru from the top of a mountain talking to you. I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I'm schlepping my way up this mountain with you. I deal a lot with this, and it is this issue of feeling like I don't deserve good things in life. Like, it's just this belief that is very difficult to shake. And when you believe things like that about yourself, then the way you cope with problems is not healthy. It's going to be avoidant and self-destructive, because ultimately you are not going to trust yourself to face things, and you're going to think, well, I shouldn't have this worked out in a good way anyway because I don't deserve it because I'm no good. Of course, the most extreme form of this self-destructive behavior would be suicide, because it's basically saying that the relief of ending everything is preferable to facing my problems. But there are a lot of self-destructive behaviors way down the spectrum, way before you even get to that point. There are obvious ones like binge eating, abusing alcohol, engaging in any kind of risky behavior where the point is to kind of get some momentary pleasure and escape rather than face a problem in life or face some kind of difficulty. It's a way of finding relief right now because you don't trust yourself to work through a problem and find a real solution. Self-destructive behaviors can also be a bit more subtle, not just like, going out and doing some drugs, but it could be if you're in a relationship and there are some problems arising in the relationship, some conflict, or maybe not even that, maybe just stuff going around in your head thinking that, oh, what if this person's going to leave me? Rather than addressing the issue or working through the problems, the self-destructive behavior would kind of just be to push the person away or to do things to make the other person dump you, basically, to create a distance so that instead of facing problems, you just cause the relationship to end. And you're like, oh, I'm relieved now. Great. I didn't have to deal with those problems. Whew, that is a weight off my back. Because ultimately, you don't trust yourself. And you're like, I can't work through these problems. And I'm not good enough for this person to want to work through it with me. I'm a loser. Well, let me just prove it to this other person that I'm a loser. And then everything will be confirmed and I will feel, justified and vindicated. And yeah, it sucks, but that's just who I am, right? But here's the weird thing, is that these self-destructive behaviors are not like a part of you that is actually trying to destroy you. I mean, it seems like an oxymoron, right? Because we call it self-destructive behaviors. But when you engage in these kind of tendencies that we would call self-destructive, it's actually a part of you that is trying to help you out, is trying to help a brother out in a sense. And this part of you is all those other people or whatever it was from your past that got the idea into your head that you were not very good and that you are not trustworthy and that you should be ashamed of yourself. There's a part of you that is now taken on that perspective, and that part of you is like, yeah, look, you're no good. You can't work through these problems. Let's not even try. Come on, I'm trying to help you out. Let's get out of this situation. Man, you're depressed all the time. You can't work through it. Instead, why don't you do some drugs? That'll be much better. That's going to help you out. You can't work through this this new job. You can't get a new job. So Why don't you just not even put any effort into your resume and into the interview? See, those are self-destructive behaviors, but it's ultimately meant to kind of save you from what this part of you thinks is going to be a much worse outcome, because this part of you doesn't trust you. This part of you doesn't think that you are good. And so you ask, why can't I do the things I want to do? I don't want to do these bad things. Why do I keep doing them? It's because you have kind of split yourself, and one part of you is the part of you that wants to do good and wants to believe in yourself and wants to love yourself, because obviously there is a part of you that wants all that, or else you wouldn't have written to me asking, why do I hate myself? Like, because if all you were was self-hatred, you wouldn't think to question it. You would just be like, yeah, of course. But there's clearly a part of you that wants to love yourself, and a part of you that wants to face life, that realizes that that is what should be done. But that's not all of you. There is a part of you that thinks that you are no good and thinks that you can't work through it. And it is important to realize that's why you keep doing the self-destructive things that you don't want to do, because there is a part of you that thinks that that is the way out, that thinks that that is your best way to go. So really the answer is to this, the simple answer is to accept yourself. And it's meaningless for me to say, just love yourself, because if you are in this position, the phrase, just, love yourself, practice self-love, that's like meaningless. So you need to start off a bit slower than just jumping full into, let me love myself, because I'm not sure that we know how to do that if you've been struggling with not loving yourself, with disliking yourself for so long. So what I would suggest is take a look at this part of you that doesn't like you, and this part of you that doesn't trust yourself, this part of you that thinks you should be ashamed of yourself and that you don't deserve good things. Take a good look at that and ask yourself, where did this come from? Why do I feel this way? Now, I'm not asking you to go find a bunch of people to blame, blame my first grade teacher, blame my mom. I'm not saying that we need to pin the blame on people and call them up and say, how could you have done this to me? Because a lot of times it's not intentional, and it's just our reaction to it. There could be someone else who goes through the same thing and doesn't react the same way. It's just part of your personality. But identify, where did it come from? And just be like, oh, you'll probably discover, oh, that's not something I grew up with. I wasn't 2 years old and hating myself. This was something I had to learn over time. This is something that was conditioned into me at some point for whatever reason. There's this other part of you that doesn't believe that you can face life. Who told you that? Where did it come from? Why do you believe it? You'll probably find that it was a way of coping with things when you were younger. Is it even true? I mean, maybe when you were a kid, it was a good way of handling things and staying under the radar. But now, is it true? Is it true that you don't deserve good things? Is it true that you can't face life? I mean, there are plenty of people out there who face life. Why not you? What would happen ultimately if you let go of these things? If you let go of these self-defeating thoughts, of this self-hatred? What would happen if you let go of it, and instead of thinking, oh, I can't face life, which is ultimately a coping mechanism, what if you let go of it? What would be left? What would you be missing out on? It's good to, this isn't something you can fix right away. This is why you need to look at these things and say, what am I afraid of letting go? Because there is a fear, even though this is self-destructive and you can tell that it's ultimately not good, it's frightening to let go of things like this. Because you're like, what if I let go of this coping mechanism and suddenly my life is worse? What if I let go of being self-destructive and suddenly, and I'm trying to be a person who faces things head on and my life just goes downhill and people don't pay me any attention anymore, because it's a good way to get attention. Not that we do it on purpose to be manipulative, but when you don't trust yourself, when you are self-destructive, it opens up a void where other people have to step in. And maybe you think, I'm not going to get attention anymore. I mean, it's a low level, not high quality attention, but it's better than nothing. You know what I mean? Maybe if I let go of my self-hatred, someone else will come in and hate me. If I say to myself, I love myself, I'm a good person, and someone else steps in and says, no, you're not, you're bad. So that'll hurt. That'll hurt more than if I kept on hating myself, So you need to analyze all these things and realize, what am I afraid of? And you need to find a way of coming to peace with letting go of those things and really identifying, what are you afraid of at those levels, and facing that first. And once you can face those things and let go of the negative side of you that is trying to hold you back for your own protection, once you're able to let go and say, it's okay, I can handle it, I don't need that protection anymore. I don't need to hide. I don't need to run away from my problems. I don't need to, sabotage myself and destroy myself in order to prove a point, in order to avoid things. I can handle it. It's okay. Be compassionate with that side of yourself and be like, I'm just letting it go. It's okay. I can take care of myself. I don't need it. It's a bit of a process. You have to come to grips with a few things, and it's different for everybody. And depending on how deep you're in it, how long you've been in this mindset, it's going to be a bit of a hike. A little. I mean, it's nothing too hard. Not Mount Everest, but maybe more like, I don't know, Mount Kilimanjaro. Isn't that an easier mountain to climb? It's still a big one, but it's a process. And another good thing with any of this stuff is to realize that you are not alone. You are not the only person who feels this way. It's just something that we don't talk about a lot. You don't go to work and people are like, I hate myself. That's something that they keep up in their mind. And it can be very alienating when you feel this way and you feel like, I'm just such a loser. Everyone else is facing life and I can't face it. What's wrong with me? No, lots of people feel this way. It's okay. It's something that you can work through. It's normal to be going through this. And you don't need to feel alone or alienated or anything like that. It's something that you can get through. And eventually, if you really work through this, I think that you will find yourself, maybe sooner than you think, at a place in life where you feel like, yes, I can face life. I can face my problems. I can work through things. I don't need that part of me that's trying to protect myself with these self-destructive behaviors. I can get through it. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you again here real soon.